Morning. Morning, Lorna. Morning, Neil. Morning, Stephen, David, Lenny, Stuart. Morning, Rosie. Morning, Kevin, Ian, Jacqueline, Derek, Gemma. Morning, Mark, Ewan, Alex, Ted, Gillian, Alan, Brian, Marlon, John, Audrey, Elizabeth. Morning, Elizabeth. How's Duisburg this morning? Morning, Nancy. Morning, Jim. Morning, Paul. Right, what we got? 105. Right, let's get this broadcast underway. It's Indytruck Davy out the truck and at his home in Salisbury, where I'm in my office. It is a beautiful morning. Sunny at the moment, 15 degrees. That's the weather forecast for Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. You want to know what the weather's like where you are? Look out the bloody window. Alright, let's get this broadcast truly started. The news review of Wednesday, the 1st of the 6th, 2022. Alright, Wednesday started with two main themes in the rags. Cuts to public sector and pressure mounts on Bojo as over 40 letters are now believed to have been submitted to the 1922 committee. I have no confidence in Bojo. Alright, on public sector cuts, that comes after Kate Forbes, the Finance Minister of Scotland, presented a financial review to the House of, to the Chamber and Holyrood. Now, the House of Thieves and Carpetbaggers are cutting the Scottish budget by 5.2% in real time, and inflationary pressures means that the money the Scottish Government does have will not go as far as they thought it would. So there's had to be a spending review and a mini budget, because the budget laid out in November 2021 was laid out when inflation was at 3%, it's now at 9%, so there had to be a look. And what Kate Forbes has said is there need to be a reset, and that normally means job cuts, as you know, in the public sector, alright? Now on Bojo the Clown, he's taken to phoning his 376 MPs to try and convince them not to oust him. Bojo is in big trouble as the Tories contemplate their electoral futures. A recent poll shows the Tories losing all but 3 red wall seats, all the London and South West marginal seats, including Bojo's own seat. So Bojo is in a tizzy, and we'll get a wee bit more of that as we get through the report, okay? Now, the other big story in the rags here in Scotland is that the SNP Green Government have 20 quid allocated in the spending review stroke budget for Indytruck 2 in 2023 stroke 24. This is the Unionist Press and the Cuckoos in the Nest panicking, but we'll get a wee bit more of that at First Minister's question time. Alright, moving on. Wednesday started here in Scotland with the introduction of a ban on single-use plastics. The ban covers polystyrene food containers and cups, plastic plates, plastic cutlery, plastic straws, plastic beverage stirrers, and plastic balloon sticks, whatever they are. Right, it's estimated that 700 million of these single-use items are used per year in Scotland, but no anymore after yesterday, right? Now, it'll be up to local authorities to police the ban, and fines of up to 5,000 can be issued to businesses flouting the ban, right? There is an exemption for plastic straws, which can still be given to people with special requirements to ensure that they have their independent living, okay? Now, the ban covers imported plastics. Technically, these plastic goods can still be bought from other parts of the UK because of the internal market bill. But Westminster has promised Holyrood that they will be putting an exemption into the internal market bill, not because they wanted to end for Scotland, but because England's introducing the same ban. Okay, so that's why there'll be an alteration to the internal market bill. Alright, moving on. Wednesday, and there's a bird flu outbreak in a commercial flock, i.e. chickens, in Shetland. So restrictions are imposed in Walsey. There is a 3 kilometre protection zone around the farm and a 10-kilometre watch zone around the area. Wild birds are also affected. Helen Moncrief of the RSPB said the area is vitally important for seabirds, so they're monitoring the situation to try and halt the spread of the H5N1 virus. Health experts say there is minimal risk to humans as the virus isn't likely to jump species. But as we know, bird flu is a COVID and it may well jump species. How severe it would be in humans, don't know. Right, moving on. Wednesday, and the House of Thieves and Carpetbaggers give the OK for the Jackdaw oil and gas field to be drilled east of Aberdeen. Now, the field has the potential to fulfil 6.5% of the UK's gas needs going forward, or about 80% of Scotland's gas needs going forward. Alright. Now, what's funny about this is, it's funny how much the stuff is still out there. I mean, there is a lot of oil and gas out there apparently. But now, considering that piece of crap unionist idiot, Sir Ian Woods, and the other cuckoos in the nest told us in 2014 it was running out, and it was worthless, it's amazing how much it's out there, Anyway, the new, while we're on the oil and gas subject, Capricorn Energy to merge with Tullow Oil and is to move its headquarters to London, so job losses in Edinburgh, okay. Now, the new company has interest in India, Africa and the Scottish North Sea. And talk about the lying piece of crap Ian Woods, his Wood Group are selling one of the divisions called Built, and it's a division of the Wood Group. They're selling it for 1.5 billion quid. Now, Built is based in the US, has 5,000 staff and 100 offices. The Wood Group intends to use the 1.5 billion to lower its debt and to transition from oil and gas into renewables. So the lying twat Ian Wood to tell us all that the oil and gas would run out by 2019, 2020 is selling up Mary's business to move into renewables. But as I say, the House of Thieves and Carpetbaggers, they're cutting Scotland's budget while stealing vast natural resources and wealth. And there's nothing the Scottish Government can do about it until we have this referendum and get our bookies out the place. Talking about which, moving on, Wednesday, new poll out with Ipsos Mori says that yes and no are sitting 50-50. I don't believe that for a second. I'm sure the yes side's out in front, but the poll suggests 50-50. But if that's the starting point, that's no bad. Right, moving on, and Wednesday. A Glasgow study tells us that 11 years of austerity has seen life expectancy stall and people dying younger, right? Now, the study confirms that austerity has killed hundreds of thousands of UK citizens, but we already knew that, didn't we? But it's nice to have Glasgow University and the medical fraternity put out a wee study to tell us that what I've been telling you guys is true. Right, moving on, Wednesday. And Green MSPs boycotted debate in the Scottish Parliament on the 70th Jubilee of the Duchess of Balmoral being Queen of England. Good for the Greens. Well done. Hey, and Tommy Shepherd's talking this weekend, I know, on Sunday at a Republican rally. And in Edinburgh, it would appear the monarchy's days are numbered. Right, let's move on. Wednesday lunchtime rolls round and First Minister's questions are on a day early because, let's face it, the House of Thieves and Carpetbaggers is in shutdown now, alright? Now, first up was Dross, and Dross went on the 20 million set aside for Indytruck 2. Now, Dross says the money should be spent on teachers, policemen, nurses, you name it, anything but Indytruck 2. But as we all know, Dross is a wee shitey democracy denier, alright? Now, Dross also says that it's irresponsible to be holding a referendum and spending £20 million on a referendum in the middle of a cost of living crisis. Well, the First Minister didn't miss the insignificant little twit, did she? She tells him, "Oi, you've got a brass neck, boy. You Tory buggers actually caused the cost of living crisis with your Brexit fiasco." Right? And he looked at it then, claimed the SNP government's record in office was crap. He mentioned BIFAB, Ferrygate, Pressweek and education. He said the FM wanted to be judged on education, so the FM smacked him right between the eyeballs with a study fresh out saying that Scotland had more university graduates per capita than anywhere else in Europe, and therefore Scotland had the highest educated population in Europe. Right, Dross switched back to the 20 million quid, and the FM tells Dross the money is a bargain to give the people of Scotland a chance to choose a better future for themselves. She then tells Dross the 20 million quid is 1/2 of 1% of the Scottish budget, a fraction of the 700 million the Scottish Government spends each year to mitigate things like the bedroom tax, the two-child benefit cap, the rate clause, and that was the reason for having to double the child payment in Scotland to mitigate the UK government's lowering of universal credit by £20 a week. Dross, she also tells Dross, she asked Dross, what does it feel like to be even less popular than Boris Johnson in Scotland, as Dross's ratings have dropped down below Bojo's here in Scotland, alright. So, Dross got his bahookie kicked and sent to the bloody naughty step, didn't he? Next up was Poverty Pie Sarwar, and he went on NHS waiting times and the reduction in NHS beds by 4,200. The First Minister tells the branch office manager, after reading out a list of stats on healthcare, that healthcare outcomes were much better pre-pandemic, so no so many beds were required. She tells Poverty Pie that hip-hops used to be a 14-day stay in hospital, now it's a 6-day stay. a knee operation used to be a 10-day stay, it's now a 4-day stay. And a cataracts operation used to be a 3-day stay in hospital, but cataracts is outpatients now, so no so many beds is required. The First Minister then smacked Poverty Pie with the fact that Scotland has more hospital beds per capita than Tory England and Labour run Wales. Poverty Pie stuck out his petty lip and said, leave the comparison with Wales out of it. The First Minister slapped a hypocrite on his bahookie and sent him off to join Dross on the naughty step. Now, when we talk about comparisons between the nations, now, the cuckoos in the nest don't like it when the First Minister compares Scotland's performances in the public services to other parts of the UK, which is which is mental. But in one of the supplementary questions, a Labour MSP then stands up and asks about the replacement for the Erasmus programme now that we're out of the EU, and they point out that Labour in Wales has got the programme up and running, a replacement programme up and running, and the First Minister slaps the Labour MSP and says, "Oi, your leader just says there's to be no comparison with Wales or anywhere else, but just as a matter of interest, we intend to get back into the EU, so there's no need for a replacement." So that was First Ministers. The two cuckoos in the nest get slapped and sent to the naughty step. Alright. Moving on Wednesday. And the Train Drivers Union ASLEF announced that train drivers have rejected the improved 4.2% pay offer from the Scottish Government, from ScotRail. Now, this won't go down. ASLEF says they are now balloting drivers on strike action. Now, this won't go down well with the public, folks. I mean, the drivers are on $52,000 a year already. The improved pay offer would have taken them to $53,000 a year. Davy says, sack the buggers, train me, I'll drive a bloody train for 47 grand a year. You'll save 5 grand. And I'm sure there's a fair few like me out there who would be quite happy to drive trains at 47 grand a year. We could save a bloody fortune. Just sack the buggers. The lot of them. Just get shot at them. As for those who travel on trains, well, you can expect a summer of disruption. Just that's what, but I care, I don't travel on trains, you know. But for the public out there who do have to travel on trains, there's a nightmare scenario coming down the road. Right. Okay, moving on Wednesday. And down the road, in the House of Thieves of Carpetbaggers, the half-wit culture and media secretary Nadine Dorries turns on Tory MPs plotting to oust Bojo. The clown, Nadine Dorries, is the thickest piece of human offal ever to be given ministerial post. Anyway, Nadine Dorries calls the people who are trying to oust Bojo plotters. Well, guess what? If Bojo had done the decent thing to start with, then the Tory MPs wouldn't be having to contemplate ousting them. Will he survive? Excuse me, folks. Will he survive? Probably. We'll know more by the end of next week. Because at this point in time, all the news of the next couple of days is just going to be pomp and pageantry with the Duchess of Balmoral's Jubilee down that road. Alright. Right, moving on. Wednesday, and war criminal and ex-PM Tony Blair chucks his tuppence worth into the carry-on over the NI protocols. Now, the blood-smeared war criminal says a solution to the situation is down to political will. Davy says, aye, it is. The NI protocols is popular in Northern Ireland, so all that's needed is for Westminster to stick to the agreement that it signed 2 years earlier, or 3 years now, in 2019. That's all they have to do. The MLAs, the majority of them are in favour of the protocol. The people in Northern Ireland are in favour of the protocol. The only people who've got a problem with the protocol, really, are the Unionists in Ulster, who think it's dragging them further away from Mother England, and, of course, the Tories in England, who are looking across the water and saying, Christ, this is an embarrassment. Northern Ireland is showing us, that it is showing the rest of the UK that the right option for the UK was to stay in the single market and the customs union, better known as Theresa May's backstop. That was a backstop that had Theresa May removed from office and had Big Dog Bojo the Clown placed in office. Alright, so, now, Tony Blair's been making a few interventions lately, but it is rumoured that Tony Blair and Baroness Ruthie Tank Commander are thinking about setting up a new centrist party. So, there should be fun down that road. Right, moving on. Wednesday. And the Americans to supply Ukraine with long-range missiles. Ukraine have promised not to use them for strikes in mainland Russia. The US thinks giving Ukraine long-range missiles will bring Russia to the negotiating table and strengthen the Ukraine's hands in the negotiations. Right? The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says the America is prolonging the conflict and would see every Ukrainian fight to the death. No, that would be down to Zelensky. That would not be down to the Yanks, alright? Right, moving on. Wednesday evening rolls around and the Scottish national team are playing Ukraine in a World Cup qualifier. Ukraine won 3-1 and will now play Wales for entry into the World Cup finals in Qatar. Alright, so there you have it, folks. Scotland did not cover itself in glory last night, but the rest of the world were quite happy to see Ukraine win. So what can we say? You know, it'll be good for the morale of the people of Ukraine who are living under terrible conditions with the war going on with Russia. So there you have it. So they're the stories I picked out to speak about, folks. I hope you found them interesting. I hope you found them informative. Now let's get a wee look at what the rags have got to say this morning. Alright, Christ, we didn't have more through that, eh? This is going to be a short programme, this one. Right, Scotland paper, Ukraine pain for Scotland and Queen's Jubilee kicks off. Time to put the telly off, folks. Time to hide in cupboards. Union Jacks will be plastered everywhere and there'll be pomp and pageantry on the telly, right? So the Scotsman has new strike threat as union rejects real pay offer. That reminds me, I missed a section there. Well, we're talking about unions. The trade unions have told the Scottish Government that the cuts coming down the line are unsustainable. But the Scottish Government know that. But there's nothing they can do about it. And if I remember right, in the last referendum, all these bloody trade unions came out against yes. So they've only got the bloody selves to blame. Anyway, new strike threats as unions reject ScotRail pay offer. Alright, we've already spoke about that. The Herald has months of rail chaos looms as union reject final pay offer. Who said it was final? Did I miss something? The loony rag, the Daily Express has. A grateful nation salutes you, ma'am. Aye, that might be England that salutes her, but up here we don't really give a crap. In fact, when we look at that poll that was out, and 56% of the people right across these islands couldn't give a crap. And the Eye has 70 and not out, the Jubilee again. The Telegraph has, we look to the future with confidence and enthusiasm, says old Jelly Bean, or the Duchess of Balmoral to us. And the Scottish Daily Fail has, Queen's joyous Jubilee message, now let's make happy memories. Bugger off. But we'll make happy memories. We'll make happy memories getting out the door and blanking the television screens instead of avoiding the bloody shops so we don't have to put up with your mug everywhere. Now what's the other one? Oh, apparently Amber shattered 7 million courtroom humiliation. So it was Kate Moss who won it for Johnny. What's this piss all about? Who's Amber? And who's Johnny? What are they doing? Right, the Daily Record has exclusive 80k discrimination battle, sacked for my Rangers religion. I didn't think football was a religion. Has there been a ruling that's made football a religion? Anyway, Dad of Two says he lost his job because of his belief in Ibrox Club. So apparently some nutter out there who thinks Ibrox is a holy place, and Rangers are some sort of deity. See, football fans, they're all nuts. Right, the Times has Johnson's allies branded Tory rebel narcissists. And this is this idiot Nadine Dorris. And the National has David Pratt has got a column saying the West must not go wobbly on Ukraine at this key time. I don't know if you noticed, folk, but Ukraine are fell out the headlines. You know, people have moved on. The other headline is Scotland falls shots in playoff, get beat 3-1. And the main headline in the National, Indy ref 2 on, a knife edge in latest poll. So, this is talking about the poll we're talking about for Ipsos Mori, where it's all to play for with yes and no neck and neck at 50%. First Minister is top rated amongst UK party leaders. That was all in the poll. Alright, and that's where the information about Dross being even less popular in Scotland than Bojo the Clown came from. Let's see what we've got in some of these local rags. Nothing worth talking about. Queen's Honour, Community Stars, and AI apparently the guy that wrote Rebus is getting a knighthood. So what's the Star got for us today? Christ, this has been the quickest broadcast I've done in ages. And the Star has, it's Qatar no more. Slava, Ukraine. Well done, you deserve this victory. And so they did. Apparently they outplayed Scotland, so they deserved their victory. Okie dokie. Right, so that's what the rags have got. There's not going to be any real news in the next couple of days because the Duchess of Balmoral is having a shindig to celebrate 70 years on the throne as Queen of England. So there'll be a lot of pomp and pageantry in the next couple of days and bugger all news, to be honest with you. But we'll find something, we'll dig something out for the Morris report, no doubt. Right, so that's what I've got for you today, folks. I hope you found it entertaining, I hope you found it informative. So let's move on to the usual stuff. There is no elections in the offing, so partisan politics in your pockets, eyes on the prize, learn your how you gonies, get out there, talk to your neighbours and friends and win hearts and minds. A referendum is coming. Alright, so as I say, I'll do another wee video on the how you gonies pretty soon. Alright, now this afternoon David and I will be on at 4 o'clock to have a wee chat in the Two Davy show about taxation. So hopefully some of you will join us then. I'll be putting it out through Facebook on my timeline. So I'll be hashtag Indytruck Davy and then the Two Davies and taxation in the title. Okay. Where were we? Support the independent media, support independent vloggers and bloggers, and if they've got a crowdfunder on the go, then if you've got a shekel to spare, which is highly unlikely in this cost of living crisis, throw it in the pot. These guys do some absolutely cracking stuff. Health messaging, remember, keep your face masks, it's guidance. So when you're in public places, in close public places, face masks, alright? Clean your hands and surfaces regularly. Use your napper when it comes to social distancing, and if you're still testing, remember to submit your results to NHS Scotland so we can keep an eye on how much it's put there in the community. That's it for the day, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back tomorrow at around the week. Okay, use a lot. Have a nice day. Bye for now.